Okay, calm down.
But you are part of a very exclusive, very prestigious list of very important people. That is the Canary Mission list. Can you tell people briefly what the Canary Mission is and how you found yourself on it, this exclusive list?
Canary Mission, for those who don't know, is a Zionist doxing website that targets anyone really who supports the Palestinian cause. I was first doxed on Canary Mission, I want to say in like 2017, like 7 years ago, for some of my activism, when I was an undergrad student organizer. Since then, they have, really exhibited fan behavior of updating that page like every 6 months. But there are hundreds of organizers around the country that have been targeted by Canary Mission because they're trying to do what Zionists always do, which is, they can't fight our movement on the merits. And so they're trying to smear, distract, and defame, organizers in the movement.
Tell us about your experience. Like, has that had a negative impact on you? Obviously, it hasn't stopped you from doing your organizing, but have they succeeded in getting you, I don't know, banned from certain things, or like, do you think you've lost jobs because of it?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to doxing, I think, like I said, I have the privilege of having first been doxxed 7 years ago, so I've had
Right.
quite some time to get used to this.
Yeah. Ahead of the curve.
Yeah. I mean, I
Not to
think
brag.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just revealing my age, but like, I think when it comes to doxing, the reality is that doxers are only as powerful as the movement is weak. Right? The best response to doxing is to show massive collective power that people stand with the Palestinian cause. And that has been my experience, actually. Being listed on Canary Mission, having been doxed, on various other websites, really at the end of the day, has no power over me if I know that I have my community behind me, I have my comrades and fellow organizers behind me. And that, like, nothing is going to stop us from being able to continue to do this work. I think, when people respond from a place of fear, when we see doxing and things like that come up, it's a very natural and normal response. But the reality is that when the Zionists and right-wing movements use these tools against us, which are only going to increase as our movement grows, they will have diminishing returns because the movement is going to swell to meet the moment to support people who are in those situations. That was my experience for sure.
And tell me about your personal connection to Palestine.
Yeah, my family is from Jaffa and Lid in occupied Palestine. So that's in, what Palestinians refer to as 48 or al-Dakhel,
Right.
Also known as the State of Israel. And so my family was displaced in 1948. I still have family in the West Bank today. But my experience as a Palestinian has been one of 3 generations of exile, of forced displacement. And for those of us for whom that is our story, for whom we were born and raised in exile, our existence in the movement, our insistence on pushing the issue of Palestine to the consciousness of people wherever we are. For me, it's in the so-called US, is an insistence on our identity and our liberation as Palestinians. Zionists thought that when they exiled 750,000 Palestinians in 1948, that they had extinguished us, but they didn't realize that we spread like seeds. And everywhere we've landed, the movement is only going to continue to grow. And that is the sort of foundational principle of the Palestinian Youth Movement around the work that we do and how we're able to actually build a movement strong enough to force responses from the government of Spain and build towards an actual people's arms embargo.
Last thing I wanted to ask you about was your thoughts on the election.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Palestinian. We had no hope in either of these candidates from the mainstream parties that were on our ballot. Obviously, the Arab American Muslim community, Palestinian community in particular, has been completely left out to dry by the Biden-Harris administration. And she had next to no popularity in our community. We also know that Trump is the president of the Muslim ban and is, vilely Islamophobic and anti-Palestinian. And so what the election, I think, shows us is that we have to look for other avenues to build the world that we want to live in beyond reformist electoral politics. And that's actually the foundational logic behind the People's Arms Embargo campaign too. You know, the story in the Intercept that broke our reporting went out on November 4th. That could have been completely lost to election cycle news. But instead, what we saw was that this story got picked up throughout the US, around the world, in Spain, and had massive ramifications for this company that we've been targeting, for a people's popular movement for Palestine throughout Europe and in Morocco. And so I think what that shows us is that, you know, this election cycle might leave people feeling demoralized or nihilistic about the state of our future. But what I really think it should be showing people is that we are our future. No one is coming to save us except for us in organized people's movements. That's you know what we're here to do in the Palestinian Youth Movement, what the People's Arms Embargo is all about. So if you're one of those people feeling like you've been left out to dry by electoral politics, join a movement, get organized, help us build a People's Arms Embargo so we can stop the flow of weapons to be used against the genocide, to be used in the genocide against the people of Gaza.
We will link to your we will definitely make sure to link to the PYM, Palestinian Youth Movement. Looks like there's some good news, by the way, which is that HR 9495 is officially defeated in the House. It didn't get
Oh,
the
amazing.
2/3 majority vote needed to pass. And that is would have wow, that's great. It would have empowered the Treasury Secretary to revoke nonprofit tax status of organizations based on judgments that they're terror supporting.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know what would be who would be targeted by that, but that's some good news. So we got two pieces of good news. We got what you guys are doing at PYM, and then we got that. So which is we need all the good news we can get.
That's for
So
sure.
thank you so much, Lea, and come back on, and we'd love to have you on again and find out what's next for you guys.
Thanks for having me, Katie.
Of course. Have a great night.